Or, ladies and gentlemen, today I want to talk about something simple yet powerful: questions. Not ordinary questions like, how are you? Or what's up? But questions that create connection, build trust, and yes, even make women feel loved and drawn to you. Curiosity is the foundation of meaningful conversation, and when it comes to relationships, it is one of the most powerful tools you can use to connect with a woman on a deeper level. Or many men make the mistake of asking routine questions that sound rehearsed or forced, or such as, how are you? Or what do you do? These questions barely scratch the surface. Or showing genuine curiosity means going beyond the ordinary and signaling that you are truly interested in her as a unique individual. Or the conclusion here is that curiosity must feel natural, not scripted. When a woman feels that you are genuinely curious about her life, she feels respected and seen. Too often, people go through interactions without really being noticed. So when someone asks meaningful questions, it stands out. Or instead of asking, do you like your job? You could say, or what excites you the most about your work? This creates a spark because it shifts the focus from routine answers to emotions and passions. Or the conclusion here is that curiosity elevates the quality of the conversation and makes her feel special. Genuine curiosity is not about interrogation, but about opening doors to discovery. A good question makes her pause, smile, and think before she answers. For instance, or asking, what's a childhood memory that still makes you smile, invites her to reflect on joy. This shows her that you care about the small but meaningful parts of her life. Or the conclusion here is that thoughtful curiosity deepens the emotional exchange and creates warmth. The key to showing curiosity is personalization. Or listen carefully to what she shares, then craft your questions around her words. If she mentions a love for books, don't stop at, what's your favorite book? Instead ask, or what book has influenced your way of thinking the most? Such questions are rooted in her interests and experiences, proving you are paying attention. Or the conclusion here is that personalized curiosity shows effort, and effort makes her feel valued. Curiosity also creates trust because it shows humility. Or by asking her to share more about her world, you are essentially saying, teach me, or let me into your perspective. This is powerful because women want to feel that their thoughts matter. A question like, or what's something you wish people understood about you, can bring out honesty and vulnerability. Or the conclusion here is that curiosity not only builds attraction, but also lays the foundation for genuine trust. Or another reason genuine curiosity works is because it creates space for her individuality. Many women feel stereotyped or judged, but asking thoughtful questions breaks those patterns. Instead of assuming, you're exploring. You're saying, I want to know you for who you are. For example, asking, or what's a dream you've never told many people about? Gives her the chance to reveal something personal. Or the conclusion here is that curiosity respects individuality and encourages openness. Curiosity also strengthens connection by giving energy to the conversation. Or shallow exchanges die quickly, but meaningful questions spark deeper discussions. They create momentum because she feels engaged and eager to share. A question like, or what moment in life taught you the biggest lesson, can lead to an entire conversation that lingers for hours. Or the conclusion here is that curiosity transforms ordinary talk into a journey of discovery, keeping her invested. Listening is inseparable from curiosity. Or asking a great question means nothing if you don't show genuine interest in the answer. Responding with follow-up questions like, that's fascinating, or what made you feel that way, proves you're not just asking for the sake of it, you're connecting. Or women love when a man listens with intention because it makes them feel valued and secure. The conclusion here is that curiosity without listening is hollow, but curiosity paired with attention is magnetic. Ultimately, showing genuine curiosity is about giving her space to reveal her inner world while you engage with presence, or empathy and respect. It is not about manipulation, but about building a bridge of understanding. When she feels your interest is sincere, or she begins to associate your presence with safety, excitement, and appreciation. And over time, those feelings naturally grow into love. The conclusion here is that curiosity, or when practiced with honesty, becomes one of the most powerful pathways to a woman's heart. Or creating an emotional connection is the heart of making any relationship meaningful and long-lasting. While surface level attraction might bring two people together, or it is the deeper emotional bond that sustains interest and builds love. Men who focus only on appearances or material gestures often miss this truth. Or women remember how you made them feel, not just what you gave them. Asking questions that touch her emotions is a direct way to build that memory. Or the conclusion here is that emotions leave a lasting impact far stronger than superficial compliments ever could. To build emotional connection, or your questions must go beneath the surface. Instead of asking factual questions like, "What do you do on weekends?" Ask emotional ones like, or "What makes your weekends feel fulfilling?" Such questions don't just collect information, they invite her to reflect on feelings. Or when she shares an answer tied to her emotions, she opens a part of herself she doesn't show to everyone. The conclusion here is that emotional questions create vulnerability, and vulnerability builds closeness. Women appreciate when men show interest in the emotional meaning behind their words. If she shares about a challenge, you can ask, or "How did that experience change you?" Or "What did you learn about yourself through it?" These questions go beyond details and tap into her inner world, or they communicate that you're not merely curious about her story, but about the feelings within her journey. Or the conclusion here is that emotional connection is nurtured when you encourage her to express not just events, but the heart behind them. Empathy is essential in this process, or asking questions that allow her to share struggles or triumphs, then responding with empathy builds trust. For example, or "What moment in your life has made you feel most proud?" invites joy and reflection, while "What's been the hardest lesson for you to learn?" opens a path to honesty. Or when you ask such questions with genuine care, she senses your sincerity. Or the conclusion here is that empathy-driven questions strengthen bonds by making her feel safe to express her true self. Or another way to create emotional connection is to tap into shared experiences. If she mentions something personal, you can bridge it to your own story, or then ask her to expand on hers. For instance, if she talks about a childhood memory, you might say, "That reminds me of my favorite memory," or "What's yours?" This shared vulnerability builds familiarity. Emotional connection thrives when both people exchange their inner worlds openly. Or the conclusion here is that emotional bonds grow deeper when questions are matched with mutual openness. The power of storytelling also plays a big role. Or encourage her to share stories by asking, or "What's the happiest memory you still think about often?" Or "What's a moment that shaped the way you see love?" These aren't ordinary questions. They make her reflect, or laugh, or even feel nostalgic. Storytelling allows emotions to flow freely and creates intimacy because you become part of her emotional world as she shares. Or the conclusion here is that stories bring emotions alive, and through them, love begins to grow. Consistency is another key factor in creating emotional connection. Or it's not enough to ask emotional questions once. You must build a pattern of caring. Ask follow-ups like, "Last time you mentioned your dream job," or "Have you thought more about it?" This shows you value her thoughts beyond a single conversation. Or when she realizes you not only remember but also care about her feelings consistently, she feels deeply connected. Or the conclusion here is that consistency in emotional curiosity creates a secure bond that women cherish. Listening actively is just as important as asking. Or women notice whether you're really absorbing their words or just waiting for your turn to speak. Responding with statements like, or "That must have been difficult," or "That sounds exciting, tell me more," reflects genuine interest. When you acknowledge her emotions, you validate her experience, or this validation strengthens her trust in you. Or the conclusion here is that emotional connection is not built by asking alone, but by listening and responding with sincere understanding. In the end, or emotional connection is about presence. It means being fully engaged, asking questions that touch the heart, and responding in ways that show you value her inner world. Or when a woman feels emotionally connected, she feels safe, appreciated, and understood. and these feelings naturally lead to love, or because she sees you as someone who reaches her soul, not just her surface. The conclusion here is that by creating emotional connection, or you don't just win her attention, you win her heart. Inviting storytelling is one of the most powerful ways to create a deep and lasting impression on a woman. Or stories are how people share pieces of their soul, their memories, and the moments that shaped who they are. Or when you ask her to tell you a story instead of giving a one-word answer, you create space for emotions, laughter, and vulnerability to flow. Unlike routine questions or storytelling questions encourage openness, the conclusion here is that storytelling transforms ordinary conversation into meaningful dialogue that reveals more of her true self. Or, when you invite her to tell a story, you also give her the chance to relive moments that matter. Asking, or, what's the most adventurous thing you've ever done, doesn't just collect information, it allows her to walk back into that memory, feel the excitement again, and share it with you. This kind of emotional recall connects you to her experience. She begins to associate those positive emotions with your presence. Or the conclusion here is that storytelling creates shared joy, and joy strengthens the emotional bond between two people. Or storytelling questions also make her feel interesting and valued. Too often women are asked shallow or repetitive things like, "What's your favorite color?" or "What's your favorite food?" While these might be fine at first, they don't build depth. Asking, or "What's a moment that changed how you see the world?" tells her you care about her growth, her journey, and her wisdom. Or this makes her feel respected for who she is beyond the surface. The conclusion here is that storytelling proves you're interested in her essence, not just small details. Or another benefit of inviting storytelling is that it builds natural chemistry. Stories flow into more stories, creating rhythm in the conversation. For example, or if she shares about her favorite vacation, you can ask, "What made that trip unforgettable for you?" From there, you can add your own travel memory or creating a dance of experiences. This back and forth energy feels natural and exciting. The conclusion here is that storytelling fuels chemistry by making conversations lively or dynamic and emotionally engaging. Storytelling also allows you to discover her values and beliefs without directly interrogating her. If you ask, or "What's a challenge you've overcome that made you stronger?" her answer will show resilience, determination, or vulnerability. Through her stories, or you learn what she stands for, what matters to her, and what kind of person she really is. This understanding creates alignment and deeper respect. Or the conclusion here is that storytelling questions reveal hidden truths and give you insight into her authentic character. Or a great thing about stories is that they create memorable moments. While small talk is easily forgotten, stories stay in the mind. If she shares a funny, inspiring, or emotional story with you, you'll both remember it later and smile. For instance, if she tells you about a childhood memory that shaped her dreams, or that story becomes a unique bond between you. This shared memory adds meaning to your connection. The conclusion here is that storytelling makes conversations unforgettable, or turning moments into memories. Inviting storytelling also shows your confidence as a conversationalist. Anyone can ask generic questions, but it takes thought and care to craft questions that encourage deep sharing. By asking, "What's a dream you've carried since childhood?" or "What moment in life made you feel most alive?" you demonstrate creativity and emotional intelligence. Or women admire men who can bring out meaningful discussions instead of dull exchanges. Or the conclusion here is that storytelling highlights your confidence and sets you apart as someone worth connecting with deeply. Or listening to her stories is equally important as inviting them. A story isn't just about the words, it's about the feelings behind them. Pay attention to her expressions or tone and energy. Respond with curiosity, "That's incredible," or "What happened next?" or "How did that make you feel?" This shows you value not only her story, but also her emotional journey within it. She feels understood and cherished. Or the conclusion here is that by engaging with her stories sincerely, you turn a simple question into a doorway to intimacy. Ultimately, inviting storytelling is about making her feel alive in your presence. It turns casual interaction into a safe space where she can share her dreams, her laughter, and even her fears. Stories breathe life into relationships because they carry both truth and emotion. When she tells you her stories, she is giving you a piece of herself, and when you honor those stories, love grows naturally. The conclusion here is that storytelling is not just conversation, it is the art of weaving hearts together through shared experiences. Listening and following up is the cornerstone of building trust and connection in any relationship. Many people focus on what to say next, but forget that true communication lies in the art of listening. When you listen with presence, you show a woman that her words have value and that her voice matters, following up on what she shares makes her feel remembered and respected. It's not about hearing with your ears, but about listening with your heart. The conclusion here is that listening deeply creates security and opens the path to love. When a woman speaks, she is often sharing more than just words. She is revealing her emotions, her dreams, and sometimes even her fears. If you simply nod and move on, she feels dismissed. But if you listen carefully and ask, "How did that make you feel?" or "What happened afterward?" you demonstrate that you're invested in her story. Women want to feel heard in their entirety. The conclusion here is that listening with care validates her emotions and shows genuine interest in who she truly is. Following up is equally powerful because it proves your attention goes beyond the moment. If she told you about a presentation at work last week, remembering to ask, "How did your presentation go?" shows that you value her words enough to keep them in mind. This level of attention makes her feel cherished and special. Forgetting details communicates disinterest, while remembering shows investment. The conclusion here is that following up creates consistency, and consistency makes her feel safe with you. Listening also means resisting the urge to interrupt or dominate the conversation. Too often, people think of responses while the other person is still speaking. True listening means pausing, absorbing, and responding only after fully understanding. Women notice when a man gives them uninterrupted space to express themselves. That patience signals respect and maturity. A question like, "What else about that experience stood out to you?" extends the conversation meaningfully. The conclusion here is that patience in listening makes her feel respected and valued beyond measure. Another part of listening is recognizing nonverbal cues. A woman may communicate just as much through her tone, pauses, or body language as through her words. By noticing these subtle signals, you can ask thoughtful follow-up questions. For example, if she hesitates while telling a story, gently asking, "What made that difficult for you?" opens space for vulnerability. Such sensitivity shows depth of understanding. The conclusion here is that listening isn't only about words, but also about recognizing the emotions behind them. Listening and following up also foster emotional safety, which is essential for love to grow. When a woman feels safe to share her struggles, joys, and secrets, she begins to trust you deeply. By asking questions like, "You mentioned that was challenging. How did you handle it?" you create a safe environment for honesty. This comfort strengthens the bond between you. Without emotional safety, connections remain shallow. The conclusion here is that attentive listening and thoughtful follow-ups create the trust needed for deep intimacy. A good listener is remembered because he makes others feel significant. Women are constantly surrounded by people who want to talk, impress, or persuade them. A man who listens stands out because he gives instead of takes. Following up turns fleeting conversations into lasting connections. For instance, asking, "Last time you told me about your dream of traveling, have you planned anything yet?" reminds her that you value her aspirations. The conclusion here is that listening and follow-ups make you memorable in the best possible way. Listening also demonstrates humility, it means admitting you don't have all the answers and showing willingness to learn about her perspective. By listening, you place importance on her truth, her wisdom, and her experiences. Women respect men who acknowledge their insights. Follow-ups deepen this by showing continuity of care. When she realizes her words linger in your mind, she sees that you value her uniqueness. The conclusion here is that humility in listening and consistency in following up create admiration and affection. In the end, or listening and following up transform simple conversations into emotional bonds that last. They show that you are not only present in the moment, but also committed beyond it. Or when you give her space, attention, and remembrance, she feels safe, appreciated, and loved. Or women don't fall in love with the loudest voice. They fall in love with the one who makes them feel heard. Or the conclusion here is that listening with care and following up with intention turn attention into affection and connection into love.